Just as a heads up, there is no script here. I am just talking to you guys as if you were sitting in the same room as me. I have some things that I want to say. I'm not sure if I'll even get to them all because of the fact that I'm just saying them as they come into my head. I have laid out a few screenshots that I have taken from the petition against bringing Valko back as a way to try to keep my thoughts organized. But I'm doing this the same way I used to do all of my presentations in high school, and that is winging it on the spot and hoping I had enough knowledge beforehand. So bear with me there. I want to continue from that by letting you all know that I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I just think that it is in our best interests to remember that there are people who only want to see the bad sides of us. No matter what we say or do, we will never be able to change their minds, and we have to accept that. We can show them all the evidence in the world, and it will not change their mind. They can only change their own mind. In fact, unfortunately, that is one of the other bigger issues that I have seen the other side of this raise, is that, well, let me slide over here so I can show you. Why is that? Okay, that's sure. Like I said, this is entirely unscripted and unplanned, and we're just kind of winging it, and boy howdy does winging it look funky. But, this is somebody who they might have been eventually on our side of things, but because they perceived our attempts at pointing out the hypocrisy and the way other love interests have done things that could be taken out of context and seen as problematic, or in their own way are a problematic thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody with more than two brain cells to rub together can admit that getting involved with your physician is kind of, what's the word? Seriously, somebody help me out here. Conflict of interest. Yeah. Conflict of interest. Yeah, that's the bitch. Anyway, technically that's problematic. Dating a crime lord is a problematic thing to do. But this is a pretty dark fantasy. Like, be so for real, my guys. This is a world where there are people who turn into monsters, and there's a god of annihilation walking amongst us. The world is supposed to end in this game very soon. Like, one of the very first trailers is Xavier talking about how this is the last spring, which I think probably, if you look at how much time has passed, it might be a different time of year now. I mean, how long was it from when Caleb blew up to when we found him again? Anyway, sorry. Just, anything that we say to try to point out that people didn't react that badly then, but they're doing it now, they're just going to see it as us attacking them, and we can't make them see otherwise, and trying is just looking bad against us. So when somebody says something, just don't say anything back. I know, but be sugary sweet. I have said this before on Twitter, but be so sugary sweet. Be kind. Don't say anything to anybody that you would not want said about you or to you or about somebody you care about. I'm serious here. I'm very serious here when I say that no matter what is said to you, either ignore it or be kind back or be very funny by pretending to misunderstand and thank them. Like, we can't force people to change their minds. We have to accept that. We have to accept that and move on and focus on other things because arguing with people is just going to make you upset and irritated. And that's going to waste your energy. And this is a marathon, not a sprint. Um, this is, look, I don't know who was out there threatening people. And I think that's an awful thing to do. I'm not sure if this is being taken out of context, but even if we feel like everybody should be boycotting with us, we can't make people do anything that they don't want to do. And trying to do that just makes us look bad. So don't threaten people. Like, I don't know why I have to say that. Just don't. Um, this one. Real fast. I semi agree with this. I think that what we should do is consolidate some tags together. I think we should have at least one tag for each of the major languages that Love in Deep Space comes in. I don't know why I worded it that was a weird way of wording it. What I'm trying to say is we should have a tag for Valko, for Aoyin, for Ryoga, for I'm not even going to attempt to butcher his name in Korean, mostly because I have unfortunately not seen it enough to even remember how it be pronounced. But I think that we should have at least 4 tags for, bring back Valko, whatever the others would translate into. That way it's easier for all of us to find everything. I personally believe that we should use the tag Valko pack as a way of kind of drawing attention to certain posts, like, hey, here's a fundraiser, or here's somebody who needs help because they are really dragging and they need the encouragement, or they need some help. I think that that would be a great thing for us to do. That is just my onion, though. Sorry, that's an inside joke. Opinion, onion. Anyway, moving on. Um, this, this. So many people are going to take everything we say out of context because, unfortunately, they are looking for us to mess up. So they're going to try their best to find us messing up, and they're going to twist it. And I'm not sure if that's what happened here. I can't tell you. But if you say anything that could be taken out of context and used as a way to put another character down, please don't, because that's what's going to happen. Anything that can be taken out of context is going to be taken out of context. End of story on that, I guess. I think this person, yeah, look, it doesn't matter what their personal feelings are in this. I saved this one as just kind of a proof that nothing we do will be taken in a positive light, because leading up to Valko's cancellation, I saw so many edits of people crying over Caleb as if he would never be seen again, despite the fact that even if he's not in the main story itself, there are so many cards and AUs, and you can see Caleb on your screen every day. There were people literally talking about how they were forgetting his face and they were mourning him, and like, I thought it was a little weird, but that's just me. And I'm not saying anything bad about Caleb mains when I'm saying that. I'm not a Caleb main. I am a fan of everybody on one way or another. I consider myself to be foremost a Xavier main. However, whenever I used to pull for multis and they gave you the 3 to pick from, I always, 100%, every single time, Xavier, Raphael, Caleb. Because those were my top 3. I'm literally wearing a replica of Caleb's necklace right now. Not on the little cobalt that you're seeing on screen, because that would be a lot to add on to it. But point is, I'm a big Caleb fan. I'm a big Caleb fan, and I thought that was a pretty weird thing that I saw on Twitter. But like, you can easily take things out of context. So this one I think that we should just ignore. This is somebody who just wants to see something bad. This one, though, if you have ever said anything that could be taken as a death threat, I want you to go into the nearest bathroom, and I want you to splash some cold water on your face, and I want you to look yourself in the mirror, and I want you to ask you where you've gone wrong with your life, because I firmly believe that you should never say anything to another human being that you would not want said to you. That is something that I learned from some very traumatizing circumstances growing up. That is why I never tell anybody I hate them in anger. I might say it as a playful thing, but I always make sure I follow it up with, a correction. So if you're going out there and telling somebody that you want them to die, I'm ashamed of you right now. Just enough said. And again, this is another person who's taking the hypocrisy corrections the wrong way. You can pause and read as much of this as you want, but I'm moving on. Sorry, I put this in here because I thought it was a little funny that, but it's also not funny. Please don't sign this petition if you, or just don't. It looks like you're on their side when you do this. Just don't be this guy. I have a lot I want to say about this one in particular, and that might be an entirely different crash out video, because I want to make an entirely different crash out video pointing out all of the things I have learned in the past few days about, the story in general, and how much money we actually spend and how much influence we've had all along. But yeah, that's a crash out for a different video. This, please look at this for a moment, because I saw this situation play out in real time. I followed somebody who was kind of engaging in this, and I realized what they were thinking. I'm not sure if you can tell by the tone of my voice or not, but I am the kind of person that you could spot easily in the dark, so I have no right to really say anything about skin color or colorism. However, if you are looking at somebody who is on our side and they are saying that they want the lighting issues to be fixed, if they are talking about, the problems with the game, instead of trying to hunt down proof that they're being performative, instead of calling them out publicly and possibly making them quit being on our side, you should just move on with your life. Because even if they're doing it as a performative thing, that is one more voice being heard. That's pretty much it. That is really all I have to say. Just be kind, guys. please